Welcome back to the Sacred Kitchen devotional series. I'm so glad that you're here with me for day 3. Today's verse is one that so many of us hold close to our hearts. Psalm 23 verse 5, and it says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." This verse is deeply personal to me right now as I prepare meals ahead of time, enchilada, sourdough pizza, things that will feed my family in the coming weeks when I am getting ready to deliver this baby. And I'm reminded that God Himself prepares a table for us. Even in uncertain or overwhelming seasons, He's already gone ahead. He's already set the table. When David wrote this psalm, he wasn't sitting in a peaceful kitchen with everything in order. He was surrounded by enemies. But even in that place, he declares, "You prepare a table before me." That's very powerful. God doesn't wait until everything is calm to invite us to the table. He sets it right in the middle of the chaos. He feeds us when we're tired. He welcomes us when we're worried. He gives us rest even when the world around us is loud. As I prepare these meals before the arrival of my baby, I can feel that truth in a tangible way. I don't know what the coming weeks will hold, but I can prepare not in fear, but in trust. Just like God prepares for us, we as homemakers get to reflect His heart by preparing for those we love. This table, our kitchen table, isn't just where food is shared. It's where prayers are whispered, bellies are filled, and memories are made. It's a symbol of God's care. And then David says, "You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." That's not just survival language. That's abundance language. God isn't just getting us through. He's pouring out His blessing. He's making us as His own and reminding us that His presence is enough. One of the very realistic ways and oftentimes very hard ways for me to show God's abundance to my family is by letting my children in to help me see the abundance, feel, taste the abundance, to be making food together. Currently, my kids helped me use the rest of our tomatoes to make some homemade enchilada sauce. It didn't make a ton, but I wanted to show my kids that we are not going to waste what God has provided for us. Another thing I really want to focus on and really implement in my home is the reminder that God doesn't delegate the preparation of this table. He Himself prepares it. The shepherd becomes the host. He doesn't say, "Feed yourself." He says, "Come, sit, eat. I've already made a place for you." That's what homemaking is at its core. Not perfection, but invitation. Not striving, but preparing a space where others can feel safe, nourished, and loved. And when David wrote this psalm while facing real danger, even then he trusted that God would not only protect him, but nourish him, fill him, and honor him. A prepared table means safety. It means relationship. It means home. And this is where homemaking and the gospel beautifully meet. Our kitchen tables mirror God's table. Every time we prepare food, lay out dishes, or invite someone to sit with us, we're reflecting that same heart of welcome. The anointing and the overflowing cup in this verse also carry deep meaning. In ancient times, anointing a guest's head with oil was a sign of honor, dignity, and hospitality. Overflowing cups weren't accidents. They were signs that the host wasn't holding anything back. God's welcome isn't measured. It's generous. That's what makes this verse so stunning. God doesn't just give us enough. He gives us more. He welcomes us not as strangers, but as beloved guests at His table. He prepares the table. Not angels, not servants, God Himself. The King of Kings ties the apron, sets the table, and fills the cup. I think about that as I prepare these enchiladas and pizza that I'm going to be freezing for my in-laws, that I'm doing just something simple, but it's an act of love, an act that looks ahead. It's a quiet way of saying, "I love you, I've made space for you, thank you." That's exactly what God does for us, just on a much more beautiful, eternal scale. And as homemakers, whether you're cooking from scratch, pulling out paper plates, or ordering takeout because life is busy, you are still reflecting something sacred when your heart is set on welcome. When your kitchen becomes a place of peace rather than pressure, your table becomes more than furniture. It becomes a sanctuary. So before we even get to the practical steps, I want to encourage you, your work matters. It's not small. Preparing a table is kingdom work. It mirrors the heart of our shepherd. And just like David, even in seasons that feel heavy or uncertain, you can rest knowing God's table for you is already prepared. He's not scrambling. He's not stressed. He's ready. A few realistic ways that we can live this out practically as homemakers is by preparing ahead of time with love. And maybe for you, that means preparing a pot of soup, baking bread, or setting something aside for a neighbor. We can also make our table intentional. Light a candle, fold the napkins, use good plates on a random Tuesday. It's not about being fancy, it's about presence. We can also pray as we prepare. Before the plates are set, we can welcome God to our table, ask Him to fill our kitchen with His peace. We can also be praying as we prepare. Before the plates are even set, we can welcome God to our tables, ask Him to fill our kitchen with His peace. We can also offer hospitality, which isn't always a feast. It can be a cup of tea with a friend, a snack after school or work, or a quiet moment with your kids. And the last thing that we could do is leave room for overflow. God's welcome is abundant. Maybe that looks like keeping an extra chair open, literally or figuratively, for someone that He places on your heart. So what small, simple act of preparation can you do this week to reflect His love?